Uh-oh. Lindsay.
What's up, Jay?
It went live, I think. It's the fastest it's ever gone live. I'm a
It,
little bit confused. We're
we are
live. We're totally
live.
live. We're
We
live.
are live.
It's been a while. Andy, take it away.
What time is it? What time is it? It's prime time. It's prime time. What time is it? What time is it? It's prime time. It's prime time. Oh yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, we're back. We missed you. I missed you, Lindsay. How you doing?
I missed you too. I'm doing good.
Hey, Jay.
Hi, Andy.
Welcome back to Primetime.
Thank you.
You got a different hat on.
I do.
364 baseball caps. Is that right? Somewhere around
Something like that. Yeah, it's a lot.
Tonight we are very pleased to welcome Taylor Guitars, Taylorware product manager, Mr. Dave Giappetta. Hey, Dave.
How's it going, Andy? Thanks for having me, guys.
Yeah.
We made it.
Here we are.
Back. We remembered how to start the show.
We did remember how to start the show. We got people rolling in. The funny part is that people are coming back.
Mm-hmm.
We A/B tested. Should we do this? And look, you're all coming back. And we got emails. We got, I mean, what is up? Dave Giappetta, thanks for joining us on the show. Tonight's subject, you know the subject. We're going to talk about what else you need when you buy a guitar. It's nerdy. We're going to get guitar on you because we got one of the most nerdy guitar guys on the planet, Dave Giappetta. He's new to Taylor, and we learned a lot about him. This is going to be fantastic.
Yes.
He's down in the corner, I think. I'm looking. Where am I? He's down in the corner, down there with Lindsay. How are you? How have you been?
I've been good. I've been real good. Just getting cold now in San Diego. I'm getting really cold.
Dave,
I'm sorry. I'm really cold.
Dave, San Diego makes everyone soft. It's wild, right? It's like cold, and they're like, it's 72.
Listen. Not fair. I lived in Michigan for 3 years. Okay. I know what cold is, but
Mom's watching. Mom, is it cold? Exactly. It's cold. Dave, is it cold in Buffalo? You're in Buffalo right now.
I'm in Buffalo right now, yep. And actually, no, it is not cold yet. We are having Indian summer. Yet the past 2 days were 70, 72, which is just ridiculous for this time of year. But
wow,
it's over. It's not gonna.
no,
we're gonna go.
That's not lasting.
No, we're going first, and yeah, we're north of the wall up here, so it's winter is coming for sure.
Andy, is it cold, Andy? It was like 63 today, right?
It's a little chilly, though. It's a little chilly.
Thank you.
Okay, but I agree with you. It makes us soft, Jay, because when I first moved here from the Midwest, from Chicago, right? The first apartment I moved into, the heat came on when it went below 68, and the air conditioning came on above 70. And I was like, what is wrong with these people? And now I'm like, it's kind of.
It makes sense.
Foreign here.
That's kind of how it is. That's how it's been the last, I mean, we were blasting the heat this morning, but last night the air conditioning was on. Like, yeah,
it's raging for the last 3 weeks before this.
All right. So welcome back to Taylor Primetime. Enough of us chit-chatting, as they say. Someone told me a couple weeks ago, Dave, that we should get a new host. And that person should be an adult next time. So then the very next episode, we had Bob Taylor on, and I was trying to get fired the whole time, but Bob won't fire. Whatever. He's a fan of the show, so what can we say? It's fun. Everybody's having a blast on the show. Jeez, they're piling in right now. This is fun. All right, yeah. Cool. So as you guys know, Taylor Primetime, it is a guitar nerd talk show, the lowest of low-budget guitar nerd talk shows on the planet. If we made this any higher budget, what would it be, Andy?
It would be just on the radar. It would be better.
We've got a lot of views if you add all 24 episodes. I mean, this is fantastic. All right. So We don't have a Hug Your Haters this week.
All right.
No.
We did not get any hate. We did, however, get a letter
We did.
to Lindsay
Yeah.
and to all of us, actually. Do you want to read it?
Yeah, let's read it.
Let's read it. All right. Do you got a song for that?
Lindsay, time to open your mail. Letters, she gets letters. Lots of letters, loads of letters. Lindsay, time to open, yeah, it's time to open. Lindsay, time to open your mail.
I love it. I love it. This letter was for all of us, though. But I appreciate. Right? It was for everybody. It was for
It was
Jay,
for everybody.
for me, and for you, Andy. You got a nice little shout out there. It's from our friend Evan. He wanted to let us know that it was 6 years ago, and he had some holiday time to use up, 3 weeks to be exact. We embarked on a road trip of a lifetime, traveling one way. It took 4,236 kilometers, which I have no idea what that is because we don't know in America. It's like half of that in miles. He did write that in miles, 2,600 miles. And he says, and 40 hours. And so 8 hours each day for 5 days to reach our destination, traveling from Ontario through Canada through the US. And they saw beautiful fall colors, open deserts, mountains, palm trees, all the sights that were new or breathtaking, like a moment of white knuckling in one of the valleys before San Bernardino, California. He says, however, one of the sights I'll always remember is the sign that said 1980 Gillespie Way, followed by Taylor Guitars. We had arrived. If I ever were to have a bucket list, this would have been on it. The people, the atmosphere, the tour, the smell of the wood, the wall of guitars on display, and the smell of all the wood, the accessories available, and finally the smell of that wood. He loves the smell of wood. It is a really nice smell. He said, seriously, though, if or when COVID restrictions lift, I recommend for anyone to make a trip to El Cajon, California to come and see what Taylor Guitars is all about. I definitely hope to make the trip again. And finally, a virtual high five to all of us for extending that Taylor experience via Primetime. And thanks for all the time we put into making Primetime possible. High five, Evan. We appreciate it.
High five,
we really
Evan.
appreciate that.
Everybody in the feed right now, everybody. We miss Sharpie too. I saw Sharpie's name squeak in.
Oh my
there.
gosh, yes.
We do miss Sharpie. But he's getting like in deep with beer. I
Yeah.
spoke to Sharpie the other day. Like that guy is all in. Next thing you know, he's gonna win like beer, like brewing championships. And he was like, you know what? Guitars are cool, but I'm left-handed. So then he opened a beer with his left hand, and the rest is history. I mean, that guy's awesome. Dave, it's really funny that you're in Buffalo, and you've probably, how many times did you come to Taylor? Where you were only at Taylor once, right?
Yeah, just the once.
And
Actually-
then we got
Yeah.
shut down for COVID, and you've been stuck in Buffalo.
24 hours before my flight to come to San Diego.
That is wild.
Never
That is wild.
That's crazy. All right, before we get into you, Dave, we have a new segment on the show. Yes, we added a segment, and this is the segment called "What Are You Listening To?" Huh? Music. It's a show about music. Andy, do you have music for the music?
What's new? What's new? What are you listening to?
I love
By the way, Andy
I
wrote
love
that. He actually wrote that. What? 15 minutes before the show started.
Mm-hmm.
You're talented.
I love
I
that.
work with some talented people. This is awesome. Hey, Lindsay,
Yes.
what are you listening to?
Yeah. Well, I am listening to a lot of different things right now. How many do you want me to give you? 2? 1?
Whatever you feel, go for
I'll
it.
give one. I've been listening to a lot of Toby in Wigway. He's a rapper, poet, hip hop artist out of Houston, Texas, and he's ridiculously dope.
Yes.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Andy, what are you listening to?
I'm listening to a record that my friend Anthony Gravino mixed and recorded and the artist's name is Ari Hest. Ari is I think he's an East Coast guy. I don't know if Dave's heard about him, but he's I don't know. This record is really simple, really beautiful. I hate to give comparisons about like who it sounds like, but I think that anybody who's a fan of just good melodic, soulful, sort of ambient rock music, pop music would really like it. Ari Hest, great record. Really dig it.
That's awesome. I'm listening to before we get to you, Dave, because we're gonna dive in and we're gonna get to know you. But I'm listening to the new Gorillaz record, right? Long time Taylor player Damon Albarn, he did it again, and sometimes, I mean, it's so spectacular. I hope everybody would go out and grab this record, listen to it, download it, support it, whatever you can possibly do. Um, this is my rant that I'm going to have. If we don't support music, we're not going to be able to build guitars, right? Like, we got to support these people who actually play these instruments. We love to play these instruments ourselves, but go out and support. Download it, stream it, listen to it, buy it. So if you could, we're going to play a little game over here before we get into Dave's, what he's listening to. Put your Lalunas record's good. That's actually good, Gabe.
Yep.
Throw what you're listening to up in there. Throw what you're listening to into the feed. That we'd love to hear it. Dave, what are you listening to right now?
And I swear it's not biased. It really isn't. Although I'm listening to a Buffalo band called Aqueous, and I was a fan of them well before coming here, and I just been listening to them a ton. And not only that, though, but I have to say this is not so much an album, but I have have not missed one of Friday Night Live at the Beacon Theater. Trey Anastasio has been doing. I guess his broadcast from there, and my gosh, just some of the best string arrangements, just great musicians, and it's just been a real treat every Friday night, and I highly recommend that. I think there's 2 more left.
That's awesome. There's a lot of people
Amazing.
doing a lot of cool live stuff right now.
sure.
We're working with an artist out of Philly named Chemist, and we're working on doing some projects together with him. He's a hip hop artist who plays acoustic guitar. So imagine how he's got to keep that poetry going live. He's got to have that hook, right? And then on top of that, he's playing a relatively difficult instrument. It's spectacular. So that's rad. That's really great. So Dave Chiappetta, you're the newest member. Well, at least on this live feed, you are the newest member at Taylor. And you really we've been working with you since March-ish. And you haven't even been at Taylor. I mean, we're all working remote anyway, but you are the Taylor Wear product manager, correct? That's your job.
That is correct.
What in the heck do you do?
Well, I just manage all the products, and I think most importantly, probably for the viewers here, I am developing products, creating products, and just really trying to take all my appreciations for guitar and accessories and just, make some fun stuff for everybody.
You're like one of the nerdiest guitar nerds on the planet, I heard. We'll get into a little bit of where you're from in a second. How long have you been playing guitar?
Oh, man. I guess since 12 years old. Yeah.
What got you into playing guitar?
Well, truth be told, my brother, he's 4 years older than me, and he would every Wednesday, the record store had Record Store Wednesday, where he would get a new album. And every Wednesday he would force me in his room, and I was not allowed to leave until I listened to the entire record beginning to end, if he was there or if he was not there. And sometimes he would leave, and I would test and put one foot out the door, and that didn't go well. So I was forced to listen to music every week, new music every week. And yeah, I just started hearing all these great tones and great sounds from all these great bands. And I guess I would also be remiss that I, without acknowledging, I, loved my brother, looked up to my brother, and he worshiped all these guitar players. And so I was like, I want to try and play guitar. And then it changed my life completely.
Was it one of those Alex Van Halen, Eddie Van Halen things where originally you were the drummer? No?
No, he's not very musical.
You know what's interesting is how much we are brothers. I have two brothers, two older brothers, and their musical styles and their musical tastes rubbed off on me really big. I would have to say my favorite band of all time. You can never take this away from me, and I'll explain in a second why. But my middle brother Jim, he introduced me to Iron Maiden. But he didn't introduce me to a studio album. He introduced me to a live record. So like that was the greatest moment of my life. And I was like, wait, you don't have to be in the studio to record something? I'm a kid at the time, right? Living outside of Chicago. And I heard this and I was like, this changed my life. And they probably made like 47 live albums since then. And they're all really good, but we got to, tip the hat to our brothers. And then my oldest brother really got me into Michael Jackson. Whatever. And Prince. Oh, man. We could go on forever. Okay. So, Dave, how did you get to Taylor? And what got you started in this industry?
Well, actually, well, as a guitar player, I just, as you said, I mean, like I've always had a fascination with gear, and I just, really just could not get enough of it, and trying to, find the perfect tone, and just always wanting to try things and what have you. And that really led to me developing a product on my own that cleaned strings. And I brought it to the NAMM show, and I won a Best in Show award at NAMM. And then for the next 13 years after that, I just ran this accessories company and had the great fortune of traveling all over the world to all these trade shows. And during that time, I just, would see all the Taylor guys and became friendly with them. And just over the years kept talking, and then just everything lined up where this position became available. And it just all worked. And it all seemed like a very natural progression and a very natural fit. So, and I mean, I'm super excited to be here for sure.
Yeah, it's really good to have you because I think Andy, when did we start really leaning into Taylor accessories? What, 2 years ago?
Yeah, we always had a pretty good representation, but it really needed somebody like Dave to come in and drive it and kind of corral it all and make it all make sense, and also, like he said, come up with new products and products that we think are good enough to go with our guitars too. And we're not necessarily interested in making the cheapest guitar tuner you can buy. That's a race to the bottom. And why would you ever put the cheapest guitar tuner on a 914 CE? There's no reason to do that. So, yeah. And I think one of the things that we've seen since Dave has come in that's been really, really nice is that the straps have really elevated into higher quality. And I was thinking today, Jo, about this show, and I was trying to write it into a song. I didn't quite get there, but I was like, all of us, like guitar players, this accessory thing is like you guys have been talking about pedals, right?
Yeah.
Like, Lindsay, how many capos do you own?
Oh, probably like 5 or 6.
Yeah, and straps, like me too. I got like a dozen straps and I have a dozen capos, and it's not that I need them, but I still want more of them. So that's good for Dave's future. All that right there.
Dave,
Yeah, and I will add on that too, that like I have to say that I mean, of course this is a Taylor podcast or a show, and I now work at Taylor, but I swear this is the truth. It really was also seeing the quality of the accessories that Taylor was getting into, and the attention to detail, and the attention to why it matters to the players and stuff like that just really, really excited me.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah, so there's so many different avenues. There's so many different pillars and departments and everything that works at Taylor. And you guys have seen it, right? We had 2 or 3 episodes on just wood, right? When we started the show, we had Andy talking about, does the guitar shape really matter? So it's in our DNA. We think about all these details, and we think about, what else can help your guitar experience go a little further and a little bit better. So let's dive into the subject matter. a little bit more. And that is, Dave, in your opinion, somebody just buys a new Taylor. Heck, they don't even buy a Taylor. They just buy a guitar, right? They buy an acoustic guitar and they're excited about it. And they're ringing that guitar out. I bet you everybody in the feed has done this, where it's like, I got it. I got the guitar I ever wanted, and I got it, and they gave me a case. And that's all the money I had, and then I left, and then I got home, and I went, oh, I needed some other stuff. So, I mean, how would you approach that? How would you approach that if you were somebody buying a gift for somebody or buying something for yourself? How would you approach that?
Well, I mean, I guess I would first approach would be kind of, how you want to take care of anything that you own, and what are the proper maintenance tools for whatever that may be, and I think the cleaning products are a great thing to have right out the door. Something to just keep the guitar clean and in the best performing condition it could be in. And those kind of things I think are probably most important. I think that what happens a lot with beginners is the neglect of the guitar for the first couple months or even year or 2 years, and even all the way down to the strings. I mean, like, how many guitar players have you, or beginners that have you spoken to, who just like literally never changed their strings or something like that? And that has a lot of, ramifications on the neck and all sorts of issues. So I think that would probably be, from an experienced player to a new player, someone who's just starting getting a new guitar. I think those, just to have some understanding of what it takes to take care of and maintain your guitar, is probably most important out of the gate.
Lindsay, what's the most important thing to think about?
When you're buying a guitar?
Yeah.
Matt, well, for me, I think if I was buying 3 things to go with my guitar, it'd be a strap, it'd be picks, and it'd be a capo. The first
a strap, picks, and a capo.
Mhm.
Andy, what would your 3 things be?
I would say all 3 of those, and I'm getting ready to drop the H bomb here. I was talking about humidity again, but people, depending on where you live, it's really important to know how if humidity affects your brand new guitar. You just spent a bunch of money on it, and if you live in a dry part of the country in the winter, you're going to need to humidify it to keep it in good condition. So those are 3 things and it's something you have to. You'll be okay for a little while, but like Dave said, if you neglect it for a year and you live in a dry area, that's bad.
Yep.
Last week our temps here were like our humidity here was like in the below 20, because Santa Ana's were raging for about 2 weeks straight. And like here, it just changed right away. Overnight, it went up to 45. But if you're in Buffalo, once it gets cold and the snow falls and the heat comes on, you really your guitar can dry out quickly, especially if you're hanging it on the back, like Dave's guitar back there. If it's just sitting up on a stand, it's exposed. So those 4 things are what I would go for.
Dave, what would yours be? 3 things.
3 things. Well, picks for sure. They're kind of important. Yeah, I'd say picks. A guitar cleaner, depending on what kind of surface your guitar is, that the cleaner is specific for that surface, and a microfiber cloth. Those I would say would be the absolute immediates, and then I would agree with Lindsay that might perhaps follow up, and perhaps even a more fun purchase would be the straps and the capo.
Mm-hmm.
Huh.
All great.
Mine would probably be a really good tuner, and I'm a nerd, so it'd probably be like a rack mount, something. Probably a strobe tuner, because I'm really nerdy and like strobe tuners. And it would be depending on how pointy the headstock of the guitar is. If it was an acoustic guitar, I got you. Strings, because I often change the strings at any guitar right when I get it, because I spent so much time guitar teching. And I never trust what dirty guitar strings are on there. and then cleaner for sure, and then acoustic guitar I would have a humidipack, because I often just don't trust the humidity levels, and I'm weird, and I know we beat people down and tell them, hey, get a hygrometer. I never have a hygrometer. I should probably get one, but interesting. Okay, so what so hold on real quick. I had my thing over here. So the ultimate guitar gift. If you were going to buy somebody a guitar right now, would you do the exact same things that you chose in your top 3?
Are we talking a beginner, intermediate?
Let's talk beginner, and then let's
talk.
do intermediate, and then let's do pro.
Okay. Well, I mean, like, I'm going to have to say a stand. And the reason why is, as much as, yes, this guitar is out and humidity control and all that is so important. I don't know about you guys, but when I first got my first guitar, I couldn't look at it enough. It couldn't be more out enough. And so I think it's a really a great first gift for a guitar player. Is it just a nice stand?
That's a good one.
Yeah.
We got some interesting ideas.
I think a chord book is important too. I mean, there's so much stuff online right now, of course, and maybe people learn differently, but the fact of being able to have a book, open a page, set it on the table, look at it, study it, rather than up and down the screen, to me,
Yeah.
or staring at a little phone. I think there's something to that, that method of just like learning some chords and some shapes and stuff.
That's good. Okay, so intermediate. What would you get an intermediate player?
Intermediate player. Yeah, I'd have to go with the capo and the slide. It's time to start exploring, getting into some different tonalities, and seeing where your instrument can go, for sure.
That's interesting. Lindsay, what would you get an intermediate player?
If it was an acoustic guitar,
Yeah.
or any if acoustic guitar, I would say, man, that's tough. I guess I would do it. Different variations of straps, because acoustic guitars, they can, I think a strap, if the right strap makes it more comfortable to even hold, and probably a nice strap, maybe a better tuner.
A better tuner.
You
All right.
start with the cheap ones, but then you get the real expensive ones that are even more on.
Right. All right, cool. So Taylorware, we got a whole bunch of stuff. We got a whole bunch of accessories. What about pedals? What about pedal tuners? What about, I mean, we have ebony slides. What about other kinds of slides? Are there anything that you guys just recommend, the whole package? So now imagine we're at Men's Warehouse, and you know how they pair things really well, and you're like, man, I need to buy all that kind of stuff. We're not trying to add stuff on here. We're just trying to give you guys stocking stuffer ideas for your purchase that you're gonna sell. You're gonna buy yourself, or you're gonna get anybody. Anyway, is there, what makes, let's just dive right in. Straps. What makes our Taylor straps so cool? Because we had an email that said our straps have gotten better, and thank you.
It's really, it's to an entirely new level. I think Taylor's leading the industry on straps for sure. Not only in the quality of them, but they're also matched to guitars. So it's a
Men's
great
Warehouse.
idea. Yeah, no, it's a great idea. Like, if you are getting a gift for that, someone who has a guitar, we have straps that are just find out what series it is, and you can get the correct strap for that guitar. Or I mean, as guitar players, I think we all buy a lot of stuff for ourselves at Christmas time as well. And so, if you have a Taylor and you don't have a match strap, you should definitely check them out. I mean, a lot of time and effort went into building these, and they really do. They complement the wood so well, and they're just gorgeous. And I mean, I guess I do have to say one thing. And I mean, like, they're expensive. Some of the higher end straps for the higher end series, or not even some of the even just lower series straps are expensive, but they are. I mean, I hate to use a cliche phrase, but you get what you pay for. I mean, they really are something else. They're just absolutely gorgeous. Yeah, so proud of them.
Were you part of the development of them?
I was not actually. That Keith Brawley, he dug in with a couple different strap manufacturers actually to get to where we are now, and just had an incredible vision to see this through and make sure that it's done correctly. So
We had a suggestion over in the feed that we need to make Taylor Primetime hosts bobbleheads. So, and Andy Lund, a Lindsay Love, and a Jay Parkin bobblehead.
Like it.
But mine would have to have like interchangeable hats.
Mm-hmm.
That's a really good idea.
It's your
No,
show, so you can get that done, Jay.
You
It's
can
your
get it
show.
done. If anybody
He
can get
can
it
get
done,
it done.
it's you.
So I think it's really fun that we have taken the time to put somebody in the position to run the Taylorware product line. I would say kudos to whoever made that decision.
Mm-hmm.
It's probably a Keith decision because he's a smart guy. But overall, the organization needed you, Dave, badly. And I think I'm really excited to see what's coming. A lot of the frustrations we've heard in the past, we'll stay on straps for a minute, is that our straps didn't fit the end pin very well. What have we done to fix that problem?
Well, there is now a strap link adapter that will accommodate any of I should clarify, the older series straps or any straps that anybody out there is having an issue with. But I think more importantly, I'm happy to say that this issue has been solved. The newer straps fit really nicely. And, I think also too, one thing to point out as far as, and this is a little before my time, but from what I understand, and it makes just physical sense, is the quality of the leather of the straps it was just so good that it just made it difficult to get it on the end pin. And that's really where the foundation of the issue was coming from, is just, in a sense, was just too good and not pliable enough to get on there. I mean, Andy, do you think that's an accurate statement there?
Yeah, this problem of the straps, not and straps from all brands, actually, not even our own, but all brands. It was always an issue with the ES2 has a proprietary end pin jack, right? So it's our design, it's our size, and the actual hole that is cut into the end of the part of the strap that fits the guitar from all manufacturers varies. And when you're in that business, you want something to be tight,
Right.
but not too tight. And even our own straps, for a while, we had an issue with them just not fitting at all. And the only way to solve it really was to get it like an X-Acto blade or a sharp scissors, something that you can just cut off a little bit of the inside of the area that was already made to go around the end pin jack to fit. And so that's what people are talking about. And we got a letter from Peter asking the same exact question. He's got a 518, 214, 518, and same exact story. And it's great that one of the things with the new line that Dave just mentioned is that all of them fit the ES2 end pin jacks with no problem. So it only took about 10 years to solve that problem.
Hey, we're making quality guitars. Sometimes we over. Yeah, anyway, yeah. I would say that the straps are awesome. I am not one who invests in a decent strap all the time, right? I like punk rock. I'm a metal player. I usually just have some sort of like black, not so high quality strap, and it's fine for me. However, what I'm learning with the acoustic guitar is it adds to the experience. If you know your significant other has a Taylor, find out what kind of Taylor it is, find out what model it is, and we have a strap that actually is fit and goes with that particular instrument. Maybe later I know we're going to start creating some content about the different straps and the different strap series and how you can tell which models are which. But we're updating our website as we go, and we are adding the straps. Next thing is picks. Dave?
Oh, hey, Jay.
Yeah.
I was going to say, to that strap point, I think a lot of people feel the same way you do. They don't spend a lot of money on straps unless you stand up and you're playing a lot. And then you realize the difference in a quality strap. When you're, playing a 2-hour, 3-set show, you want a good strap.
Totally. When you have,
Yep.
yeah, you want it balanced, right? When you
Yep.
have one guitar that you're using, and I come from the guitar tech world where it's like the guitar players have, 15 guitars that I'm switching in and out and in and out and in and out and in and out. So, I always came with that mentality of, it doesn't matter.
Yep.
Well, yeah, it does. When you're standing there, you need that quality. You need that,
Totally.
you need that strap. I mean, we're talking about guitar straps right now. And we're really talking about them because it's that important. All right, so picks. What is going on with our picks? We did a whole episode on picks, and picks are very personal for people. But what would you just advise, Dave? You're the product manager for Tailorwear. If somebody's buying picks for somebody, what would you advise?
Well, I mean, first of all, just a general advice would be to use the thickest pick that you are comfortable with. It's the pick that's going to transfer the best energy to the string and provide the best tone that's available. And, it's an interesting thing that like a lot of beginners or people feel like that beginners should have a thin pick. For some reason, kind of like light gauge strings and thin picks just equal beginning players. And it's just not the case. And so I would strongly suggest whatever pick that you're going to get into that you're using a heavier gauge pick for sure.
Phil just said strap in. It's going to be a long show. I like when the dad jokes happen. It's so good. Yeah. Okay. Sorry. Keep going with picks.
Yeah. Well, but actually, what's funny? And this is just, I guess I just have to do it, but just to go back really quickly to straps, we were talking about I'm sorry. I just have to put it out there because it's really relative. Keep talking about acoustic guitars, of course, but these straps, I mean, like I have the Palomino strap matched with my yellow Telly, and I mean, like it's just absolutely perfect. It's awesome. And as far as Jay, you were saying some more rockin' straps or something that, I mean, we could take this offline, of course, but you should. I mean, the wings straps and the distressed leather straps. I mean, they are awesome. Mm-hmm. They are super bad. Oh, I don't know what I'm allowed to say on this.
You can say whatever you want to say. Yeah, they are. They're
only
awesome.
Tailor stuff. Only.
I've gotten into straps, and it's probably because we had to make like 800 strap videos, but I've gotten into them, and I had to sit there and inspect every single thing, and they're incredible. Yeah. But I also swing this back to picks. Sure. I've learned so much about picks in the last 3 years with Keith developing these picks that, I mean, it's a big deal.
It's a big
deal.
In town.
There's no other way to say it. I mean, I'm sorry, but it's groundbreaking. It's a pick is no longer just a pick. It's just not. It's not just a. What the materials that Taylor is using now, it actually creates sonic response, varying sonic response within the entire Dark Tone series pick line. And Andy did an awesome video, which you can check out right now on the page. There's a pick page where you can actually hear the differences. And, Andy, I got to say, like when you were doing the video, and of course we've all tried these picks and played them, I was a little, like, is it really going to translate to the video and stuff? And it was just so cool to see that it does. But on that note, when you really have them and you're playing them and A/Bing them and testing them, you can really find some really nice differences and just find the pick that speaks to you and works for you. And just real quickly to close this up, because, it's kind of difficult. We have all these picks. You go to the website, it's like, how do I try them? How do I get into these? And one of the first products that we are coming out with, one of my first products here, which I'm really proud of here, is a Taylor pick tin, where it just has an assortment of 9 of these picks that you're going to be able to just get them and take them home. And it comes with a Z-fold brochure that actually has an EQ breakdown for each pick, so you can know what to listen for. And again, I hate to use this word, but it's groundbreaking. I've never seen any company try and do this sort of thing with picks and succeed. So that's my rant on picks. Was that long enough for you?
That was good. That was great. We're going to get into some Q&A in just a second. And there's a lot of really good, what was fun? I really why I wanted this episode, because we're going to now hear a lot of requests for things that people want. Yep. One repetitive comment over here is a pick assortment. Like the idea of having a pick assortment. Do we have any of that plans for that in the near future?
Well, that's exactly what I was just referring to. We're coming out with it real soon. Yeah. It is literally that. It's a collection of 9 different dark tone series picks, so that you can you can sample them all. And it's funny that you say that it came from a recommendation. Yeah, this is something that's been I've heard all throughout Taylor and from dealers, and so there's a real interest in it. And so keep your eyes out for it and check it out when it's available.
Are they going to be? Oh, good.
Go ahead. Are
they all the assortment, is it going to be an assortment of materials, or is it going to be an assortment of thickness, or both?
So we tried to keep them all generally within the 1.2 thickness range, because again, the thicker the pick, the more energy that transferred to the string. It's going to provide the better tone. So that's where they all live. But the pick assortment itself, the 9 picks that come in it, are the 9 different materials that are used to make those picks. And if you really think about it, I mean, it's the thing that's making contact with the string. If you think about it, like if you play with your fingers and your fingernail, if you hit it one way, it's one sound. If you hit it another way, it's another sound. Now, granted, your nail's the same material, but and perhaps that's not the best example, but the different materials react to the strings differently. Yep. And it's just super cool. I think people are going to really dig it.
Before we go on to other accessories, and then we'll take some Q&A, we got a lot of love for the Blue Swirl Thermex picks. We get that on social. We did a social post the other day. If you had a favorite Taylor pick, Dave, what would it be?
It's my favorite. It just is. It's just, there's something about it. It's just a great pick.
Really?
Yep.
Lindsay, what would yours be?
Of our picks? Yeah, it's the Blue Thermal. I have it out. I don't have it with me, but it's out there with my guitar.
Andy, is that your same for you?
No, Thermex Pro is my favorite.
Really? Thermex Pro. So different tones for different people.
Yep.
Look at you guys.
I was going to use it for the show tonight, Jay, but I couldn't find mine.
Oh.
So I need to talk to Dave. Maybe he can hook me up.
Maybe he can hook you up.
Yeah.
He hooked me up so I could take some pictures. So we got that going. All right. What else do we have? Let's feature a couple of things real quick. This little guy here. Talk to me about the capos real quick, and then we'll get into some Q&A.
Yeah, real quick. I think the most important thing to appreciate is that it's molded for the neck of Taylor guitars. It's just a perfect fit. It's a really well functioning. Has a quick release on the capo, and it's a quality Taylor product. It does fit other guitars, but if you're looking for the type, things that are made for your Taylor, this is one of them.
Pretty cool capo.
Yeah.
I'm not really good with capos. I should probably take a lesson.
You were a hand model there for a second, Jay.
Yeah, I was. I'm pretty good hand model, but I'm not good with capos. I'll learn one of these days. I'll learn how to do some capos.
You're basically.
All right. So thanks, Dave, for giving us, a snapshot on some of the stuff. Is there anything besides the pick tin that you talked about and the assortment. Is there anything else that you're looking forward to for the next year that's going to happen in the
I
Taylor?
mean, there's a bunch. We have a pretty solid pipeline, but I have to say probably the thing that jumps out to me the most is Taylor Sense. It's basically a replacement for your battery box that actually measures the humidity in your guitar, and it's feeds the information to your smartphone to an app, so you can constantly monitor how your guitar is doing. And I will say too, this is it's been a long time in the making, a tremendous amount of effort. I believe it's been 8 years that this has been in development. And it's just another example of the attention to detail at Taylor, and the level as to which everybody nerds out on these products. And it's really, really cool. And that is coming by the end of this year. So I'd say that's probably the other one that I'm most excited about.
That's awesome. We're getting a lot of requests over here. Zipper
Yeah.
hoodies, you know, Jay's signature baseball hat. I just made that up. Anyway, thanks, Dave. Thanks for everything. We're so happy to have you a part of the team. I think we should dive into some Q&A, talk through some of these suggestions, and we'll keep the show moving. It's been fun having you as part of the team. I mean, you make us do a lot of work, but we appreciate you. I work closely with Dave. It's fine.
Yeah, no,
Say that. I appreciate people who keep us honest, and we truly have a lot of work. We have a lot of stuff coming out in the next few years. It's going to be really fun with Taylor Wear and Taylor Accessories. You want to dive into some Q&A, Lindsay? You want to take a question?
Let's do it. I'll just start at the top of our email list. This one's from Richard. He wants to know, and this might be a good one for you. He wants to know, what's the difference between a parlor guitar and a travel guitar?
That's you, Andy.
Oh,
Yeah, I'm throwing it to you, Andy.
Parlor guitars were the original travel guitars. At the turn of the century, when guitar builders first started making instruments, they were smaller, and they sort of just garnered that name over time. And they were originally made with gut strings, and so as the need for guitars to get louder evolved to keep up with pianos and harpsichords and violins, the dreadnought was developed, steel strings were developed, the guitar size grew. But still, there's this super cool thing about a small guitar that people have a bit of a romance with. And it's a little bit more of a niche guitar because you can't bring a parlor guitar to play with your band so much. If like in an acoustic circle, it's not going to be loud enough probably in most situations, but it's super comfortable to play for a lot of people. If we flash forward 100 years, 150 years, the travel guitar category was invented, I would say probably within the last 20 years. Baby Taylor had a lot to do with that, putting that on the map. And since the Baby Taylor was so successful, of course, we've seen the GS Mini, which is almost its own brand of travel guitar now. Plenty of other people making them. So parlor guitars have, if you want to get into real specific definitions, there's things that make a parlor probably more definable, but they're generally very close to the same size. And one of the reasons that we actually came out with the new GT guitar was because people keep asking us about, when are you going to make a parlor guitar? So they're sort of the same thing in some ways. That would be my answer.
Great answer.
Andy, do you want to ask a question? Do you want me to take one? I can take one because this next one's also for you.
Okay. Give me a second. You go ahead. I'll have a drink.
All right. I'll ask you this question. What is the difference in playability and sound between a 414 CE Rosewood and an 814 CE? That came from Tim.
Playability is the same. It's the same body size. It's the same neck carve. It is, if they're the same strings and they're set up similarly, it should be the same. The playing experience Wait, 814 and 414, is that right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Rosewoods.
Okay,
Yep.
so
Well, oven call in Rosewood, right? The
Four-
traditional oven call.
No, he said 414 Rosewood.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
414 CER.
the reason
And
I
then
balked, the reason I balked is because the new 814 CE has armrest on it now. So the
Oh,
answer would be different than it was 3 months ago. But if we just talk about the Grand Auditorium Rosewood body shape, I would still stick with what I answered. However, sound wise, I would say that one of the cool things about Andy Powers designs is that you can put a 414 CE, an 814 CE, a 914 CE, all on stands next to one another. Tune them the same, and you realize, and a 714, that's almost more important. You put them all next to one another, they do not sound the same by design. Like for me, the 714 and the 414 have the most focus on fundamental part of the sound, especially the 714. It's a real rootsy kind of based on the lower fundamental parts, whereas the 814's got tons of overtones, lots of bloom. The 814 is like the sports car, right? And the 414 is like your F-150. That's
hey, that was a Ford reference. You're talking to the Detroit guy. So
well,
I'm actually a Flint guy, so I'd be a Chevy person. We're gonna fight after the show, but it's not a big deal.
I could just say truck.
Truck. Okay, cool. So someone at Nonquist, they had a question. You know, when we were asking what is our top 3 earlier, is an acoustic amp a good? This one's Dave. Let's go with you, Dave. You're an amp guy. Is an acoustic amp a good add-on to a sale, to a guitar purchase?
I mean, I think that really depends on the player, what level of player you're talking about. And are we talking specifically acoustic guitar?
Yep. I was just
Yeah.
talking to buy an acoustic guitar. Do you buy an acoustic amp?
I would say that if the person is playing out and has expressed that, maybe singer-songwriter, then for sure, or something like that. But generally speaking, I don't think that would be a go-to add-on in my book.
No.
Yeah, well, if it's a beginner, I would say spend the money on the better guitar. If you've got a certain amount of money to spend, don't split it up between an amp and a guitar. Buy the best guitar you can, and then get your amp down the road. And actually, the question we're talking about, beginner, intermediate, and pro. The intermediate is, I think, the person who's the easiest to buy a gift for, because the intermediate player has something they want. They've been doing it for a while. They understand, oh yeah, picks do sound different, or I wish I had an amp, all that stuff. I think that their thoughts and the next thing that they're thinking about, looper pedals, delay pedals, all that stuff. You can get into that world for an intermediate. So with a little bit of detective work, asking your guitar player that you're looking to shop for, you can probably find out exactly what they want.
I have an idea for a show. I do. I just thought of it right now. So let's write this down. I think you guys will be into it. We should have we should turn this Zoom screen right here into 24 people that we work with, all of us on screen at the same time. And we'll each take 2 minutes to talk about our most favorite guitar pedal. Oh, it's going to be a guitar pedal-a-thon.
Oh, man.
That
would be awesome.
This is what makes this show cool. We just brainstorm while we're live. Andy, do you have a question, or do you want me to take one?
Go ahead, Jay.
So this one's just a moment of clarity by our friend Bart. Are you saying that the straps now fit over the end pin?
Yes.
All right, rapid fire. This is good. Andy, it's your turn.
I like that answer. Over the last couple of years, I have watched the addition of several new series to your line, as well as the improvements and enhancements to many of the older series. However, are there any changes or additions to the T5Z or T3 guitars planned? Well,
basically,
basically, we're always working on new cool stuff. Let's just say that. How about that? That would,
that was well played.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Now we'll leave it at there. That.
Yeah.
How's that?
yeah.
Maybe?
Maybe
Not? Sometimes. Andy's making stuff.
we love guitars, and we do have electricity out here as well, and so we're always thinking about stuff like that. Yeah.
On another note, you could use our Taylor straps with a yellow telly.
Palomino
All
strap.
right.
That's secret information, Jay. We really can't go down that. We can't reveal the secrets that we have.
We do have some secret sauce. Lindsay, do you have any questions?
Yeah, this one's from Alan in the chat. He says, "How difficult is it to replace the Taylor Pickguard with the clear one? Can I do it myself?" So I'll answer that. It's not that it's difficult, more than you have to be very careful because you can tear the wood, you can tear the finish, and you can tear the wood. So I wouldn't recommend doing it yourself. You have to heat it up, but you need to make sure you're not overheating it to where you cause damage to the wood. So it's really easy to do for a tech, but I wouldn't recommend doing it yourself.
So you're saying we need a Taylorware blow dryer?
Yeah,
we can sell to people who want to change their pickguards.
a Taylorware heat gun. Yeah, or a blow dryer. Maybe the blow dryer might get hot enough.
Nah. We'd sell at least a dozen of those.
There we go.
I think Tesla just made whiskey.
Really?
We could do it.
We could make whiskey.
We could. Well, someone was asking about a
Paul
Taylor
Tobias,
beer,
probably.
a Taylor beer thing. Not whiskey, but
We did do a Taylor beer. We did one. We did a Taylor beer already. 2 of them. Well,
yeah,
1.5, I think.
Yep.
One got shut down, I think, because of COVID. But we did do a beer.
The maple.
It was a limited it was a local with Carl Strauss, and it had roasted maple in the brew. Mm-hmm. It was fantastic.
It's the best. Best sounding.
And then we drank it all, and you can't get it outside of California. But it was tequila. Hunter told me it was tequila that Tesla made, but we could make whiskey. Paul Tobias says, "What?" Oh, he's excited. All right. We got a question over here. Dave. Hi, Dave. It seems that most of the popular Taylor straps are always out of stock. What is being done to improve inventory on hot-selling items?
Yeah, it's a great question. Actually, there's a lot being done right now. There's essentially a complete reevaluation of the inventory process, and we're going to get ahead of that. And all the best I can say is that the team is on it. And just one thing is an appreciation that the products just continue to grow in sales, and sometimes it's a little difficult to keep track of what that forecasting is going to be, but nonetheless. They're on it.
And we're finally supporting them in, on social media.
Right.
That's awesome. All right, cool. Hey,
I have a question for Dave.
We have vegan straps. Someone's talking about stuff out here. Our vegan straps are amazing, by the way. Okay, Andy, go.
The question I have is that we came out with a new case that we call the Aero case, the Taylor Aero case that we're using for GS Mini Pluses and the 200 Series Plus guitars. Are those available for like an add-on? I know they come with the guitars, but do we have enough inventory? Because those are one of the most killer hard gig bags I've ever seen. Super light, super strong. I'm assuming that anybody who has a hard shell case and is walking around town or throwing the car in the truck or going on a train or something would love to have those. Do we have those in stock yet?
We do have them in stock. They are limited though. So we are working through that to increase the allotment. We have a daily allotment. It is rather small, but they are available. So you can call in or request one through your dealer, and you can get one. But I think, that they'll be probably certainly more available in 2021. But yeah, if you want one right now, you can get one.
That's a good question. If you have a case, if you just want to buy a case, say you have like a 114, which comes with a gig bag, can you just buy a case on our website, a hard shell
Well,
case or something?
yeah, you not right now. You can't. Probably
Okay.
within the next 2 or 3 weeks. We're just undergoing some maintenance right now. But yeah, you can. You can call customer service. I'm sure they'd be able to help you. And again, or call your local dealer. I mean, that's always the best way to go. But yeah, no, we do have all those.
That's a really good point. Not only are we, re-enhancing, we're updating our experience to the web store. Someone actually in the feed, and I lost it. I
Mention
was
that.
trying to find it. Ask where is the web store on our website, and we're always trying to update and get better and make sure our experience is better. But it's up in the right-hand corner and it just says store. You can click the button and it'll take you there. But we're working on making that experience better. But what I was getting at is never forget that we sell these items at guitar stores, local guitar stores. Paul Tobias has some of these items at his store, I hope, along with the scotch that he just poured. So remember that first and foremost, just call one of your Taylor dealers and ask if they have these products.
Especially this time right now, it's never more important to support your local dealer for sure.
Definitely.
Yeah, we're trying to make sure that they have stuff to sell. And that goes back to also production. A little update, and then we'll kind of wrap up the show with Sharpie's question and 2 minutes of sports and some trivia for you. But remember, we've got a lot of guitars. Andy, how many guitars are in back order right now? Do you know?
Over 90,000.
Over 90,000 guitars are in back order. There are a lot of people waiting for their guitars, and we hear you guys loud and clear. We get emails. The chat windows are open on our website all the time, and the support team is doing their best. We have a amazing, incredibly talented staff of coworkers we call the production team. And they're making these luthiers, and these guitar makers are incredibly talented, and they work day in and day out to get guitars to you guys. So as you're going to your dealers and you see they may have shortage of stock, support those dealers. Let's get some sales in there and help them stay in business. It's really important to us. 90 guitars. Yes, someone just said, oof, 90. These folks, these men and women are working tirelessly to get you instruments. And now we're running into, we did this crazy year of COVID, and now we're running into the holiday season, and it's not really going to slow down. So, really cool thing that we're going to do starting on some upcoming shows is to bring some of these production coworkers of ours onto the show and chat with them. Talk to people about what they do. We have so many talented people that we work with, and for your support, thank you for hanging out with us on this show. We appreciate it. But think about that. If you see somebody out there really frustrated because they ordered a guitar months ago and they don't have it yet, there are a lot of people who are frustrated, and we're doing our best to get those guitars into your hands. We surely are. 90 days. 1,000 guitars daily. Yeah, that would be 90 days of 1,000 guitars daily.
Wow.
We're moving as fast as we can. So Dave, appreciate it for you coming, hanging out with us. We got a couple of more segments on the show. We have our favorite part of the show right now. One of our favorite parts is, of course, Sharpie's question. Sharpie's question. Lindsay, it's your turn tonight, isn't it?
Yep.
My favorite part about Lindsay is she always stumps the guest, so let's see if she could do it again.
I'm going easy this time.
1,000 left-handed guitars. 90,000 left-handed guitars for Sharpie. All right. Here we go. Andy, take it away.
The question can be about music, maybe why you learn to play. Sometimes they get philosophical. Lindsay, what is the question today? Here comes Lindsay Sharpie's question.
Oh my gosh. Amazing.
Sharpie's
Dave.
question.
This is Sharpie's question. It's the best question of the night sometimes when I'm not doing it because it takes the guests like 5 hours to answer.
It's okay.
Let's do
Curious
this.
as to what this is. I have no idea.
It's just any random question. So I'm just going to ask you if you could only have one guitar, just one electric. It doesn't need to be a Taylor brand. We're not doing that, but just any. I mean, if it is awesome, but one guitar, what would it be for the rest of your life?
Yeah, no, believe it or not, it's not a difficult question for me. It's an ES335.
Ooh,
It's been my go-to forever. Yeah,
love it.
yeah.
That's a good guitar.
A particular year, or just
Yeah, mine is a 92.
okay?
92, yeah.
Wow.
Ooh,
That's a really good guitar.
You know,
That
actually,
is.
it's really quickly, really crazy. It was
Yeah.
stolen at a gig.
ooh,
And I called. This is in upstate. This is in Oswego, and I called every pawn shop around and guitar store, giving them the serial number, and because I just, obviously love this guitar so much. And a month later, I got a call. I got it back.
Wow.
That's interesting. Before we get into 2 minutes of sports, maybe you can help clarify something real quick. I'm wearing this Yankees hat because Dave is a Yankees fan. You're from Massapequa.
This is true.
Somebody else who was on the show was from Massapequa on Long Island.
Two people, probably.
Venezia hasn't been on the show yet, but we're going to have to get him on the show.
Mhm.
Monty Montefusco was from Massapequa.
Correct.
True or false, you were in rival bands and you think he may have stolen your guitar?
That's a very, very good question. Very good question. Most likely.
Monty didn't steal your guitar.
he
There's no way.
Venezia
No.
might have. Venezia might.
To clarify, in
But you
case
found
you're
it.
Listening, I did say rival, and then I took it back and said that he was the elder band. He was a senior to me,
band.
and they were the band to beat at the Battle of the Bands,
Ooh.
which we did not do.
Wait a second, but Monty's a bass player, therefore he was in your band as well.
No? Okay.
All right, 2 minutes of sports. It's that time. 2 minutes of sports. I'm so excited about this one. 2 minutes of sports. Take it away, Andy.
Talking sport, Jay's favorite part of the show. Every time we go live, we take the dive. NHL, the NBA, MLB, or the NFL, LPGA, PBA, GC, NCAA. Too many to say for 2 minutes.
That is
Ah,
Oh, wow. That was awesome.
fantastic.
Tongue tied.
Oh, man. That was awesome. All right, Buffalo. This one's easy. This one's so easy. I'm going to give you some just real quick true or false. The Buffalo Bills were in 4 consecutive Super Bowls from 1991 to 1994. True or false?
Oh, thank God I know this one. My brother-in-law would have killed me, and I'm sure you're going to nail me with another one, but this is true.
Yes. And in 1991, did they win or lose?
They lost. Are you going to do this?
In 1992, did they win or lose?
They lost.
In 1993, did they win or lose?
They lost.
And in
But
1994, did they win or lose?
they lost.
All right. He's a Buffalo Bills fan. You know why I'm rubbing this in right now? Because aren't you like really playing well this year? Yeah. The Buffalo Bills could potentially go to the Super Bowl.
That's the word. That's the word around here.
I hope to goodness
And-
that they
and
don't
lose again.
lose.
What was the quarterback's name through all that? Jim, the quarterback through those years with the Bills.
Huh?
No,
What?
Who?
when they kept the quarterback.
Yeah.
Who was that quarterback through all those '90s losses?
Oh,
See,
Jim
now I'm gonna
Kelly.
get
Jim
killed.
Kelly. Yeah, Jim
Yeah,
Kelly.
Jim Kelly. Yeah.
Yeah.
Amazing. Love him.
Yeah.
All right. So 2-minute sports. That's good. Now it's that time. It's Gabe. the Browns. Gabe is a Browns fan. All right. So I'm just throwing that out there. Yeah. Jim Kelly. Someone said Tom Kelly. Jim Kelly. Jim Kelly's the guy. All right. So thanks for that. Thanks for amusing me on 2 minutes of sports. We have some trivia for you guys. We have tonight's prize because it's Dave and he's the Taylorware product manager. Tonight's prize is Dave's choice. Dave, what is the prize tonight?
Well,
We have
tonight
two of
we're
them. We're giving away two prizes.
2 package prizes.
What?
Is that correct, or just 2 individual prizes?
2 package prizes.
2 package prizes. Wow.
All right. So Dave's choice. He's just going to put a bunch of stuff in a box and send it to you. You guys know the rules, and the rules are Gabe O'Brien is not allowed to answer any of the trivia questions because he knows all the answers. And also, Paul Tobias, you can't answer either. You have all the stuff. We should ask them questions next time.
They've
All
been
right,
asking for that.
Yeah, we'll
People
do that.
want it. People want it. They want to show.
We'll do that. All right.
Yeah.
So next week, we're going to do a trivia playoff, kind of, with Gabriel O'Brien and Paul Tobias. Next week's trivia, they're the only 2 who get to answer. This is going to be awesome. All right. You know the rules. You know how this works. I'm going to ask you a question. The first person to answer correctly in the feed is the winner. Okay? And what you got to do is you got to send us an email to primetime@taylorguitars.com and we will get you set up with your prize. All right, here we go. The question, the very first question. This is a tough one. It's going to take a lot of typing, so get your hands warmed up. What Taylor guitar series are made in our U.S. El Cajon, California factory? From top to bottom, what Taylor guitar series?
Great question.
Here it comes, 1974. Of course. What Taylor guitar series are in our made in our U.S. factory? All of them. You got to list all of them. In one line. Oh, they're close. John wrote eucalyptus. This one's totally going to stump people.
Well, you're not going to just go for the people that just put the 1 and up.
Yeah, no.
No, you want them all.
Because remember, we just, wait.
Wait. Yeah, I think Evan got it.
Evan did
Evan
it.
got it. Yeah.
Evan did it. Yes.
Bravo.
Awesome. Bravo, Evan. Man, he gave us a virtual high five tonight and everything. Evan did it. You are right.
Yes.
The Grand Theater, the GT, the
Yep.
American Dream Series, AD,
Yep.
300 through 900 series, Koa series, and presentation series.
Wow.
Good job, Evan. That one was tough. You know, we had a lot of good tries on that one.
Yeah.
So the next question is going to be T series. Well, yeah, that's actually true.
Did we crown him
I should
too
say
early?
acoustic. You know what, Craig? I'm going to slide you a gift.
We need a recount.
We need a recount.
We do.
We need a recount. We did it. So acoustic guitars, Evan, you did a good job. Craig, send me an email. I got your back.
Yeah.
All right. Here we go. All right. The next question is a loaded question, and you should have been paying attention the entire show. This question has to do with our guest, Dave. Don't give them the answer yet because they should have been listening. What is Dave Chippetta's favorite Taylor pick? That's a good question too.
Craig, the teaser, the T series are made here. We just missed it. Yes, we said, where are the teas made?
Yeah, we got you. We got you, Craig. Send me an email, Craig.
You're right, Craig.
You're right. We were talking acoustic. I left the big word out, the main word, acoustic.
Yes.
Blue swirl.
Yep. Robert.
Robert. Robert.
All right,
Robert, I
Robert.
saw you. Blue swirl, Robert. Good job. Excellent. Send us an email to primetime@taylorguitars.com. And guys, we can't thank you enough for joining us week in and week out. And even when we take a week off, there's still loads of people watching the show. Next week is going to be super, super, super fun. We have the man himself, Rob McGargle, back on the show, and we're going to talk about winter guitar care. So now we're going to have Lindsay and Rob. So basically, Andy, you and I get to take a break next week. We're just going to watch. That's going to be really, really fun. So winter
Rob is
guitar care with
amazing.
Rob McGargle. Dave Chiappetta, it's late where you are. Thank you so much for hanging out with us. Andy, it's always a pleasure hanging out with you. Everybody, it's always a pleasure. Lindsay, thank you for hanging out with me day in and day out. You guys are awesome people. You're fun. We still are excited to do this show. We'll see you next week. Andy, you want to take it away?
What was it? What was it? It was prime time. It was prime time. What the heck was it? What the heck was that? Well, that was prime time. Hey, Dave, thanks for helping with the stocking stuffer stuff. When it comes to guitar accessories, who could ever have enough? Guitars for all the who's in Whoville, maybe a neat t-shirt or two. We wish your holiday wishes come true. Don't forget little Cindy Lou or Prime Time. Next Tuesday with Rob McGargle on Prime Time. On Tuesday. Good night, everybody.
All right, winners, send me an email, Craig.